Hi there, how are you? Sandra here, coming from my fancy studio, which is actually the spare room in my house. Tend to spend a lot of time in here, whether it is creating some content such as this or maybe having a good old nap over there. With the warmer weather, I'm excited to be able to get access to the great outdoors more. You can see it's quite bright in here. The sunshine is just beaming in. And I thought it would be time to do another day in the life video and just sort of check in and let you know what I'm up to and maybe find out what some of you guys are up to as well. When the weather starts turning nicer, I get really excited because I really, really benefit from connecting with nature and all her elements. But I do not like being cold. So I don't get out as much as I would like to. For me, being in nature doesn't mean going on a hike, but it's actually being with and experiencing nature. And it is one of the things that I really do to support my mental well being and also to tap into my spiritual connection and to get grounded. I don't think I suffer from SADS, seasonal affective disorder, I think it's called, which is the lack of sunlight. But I really do miss the energy that I seem to be able to pick up from the earth. So spring cannot come soon enough for me. I've done a few videos recently talking about the fact that I'm currently experiencing an arthritis flare, a rheumatoid arthritis flare. And I'm used to the pain aspect. I'm always, I have ways of managing with that, but it's always the fatigue that tends to knock me off my game. Managing energy and resources is the norm when you live with chronic condition, and it's one of the cornerstones that I work on to do my level best to live well with arthritis. And that is recognizing that you just do need to be on top of and manage your energy. And I might do some videos on how I have actually been able to craft that into my everyday life. And some of it is scheduling for sure, but then also need flexibility because of the nature of this disease that can be very, very unpredictable. So, one of the things that is challenging is when you experience a flare, because that's when you also have an increase in fatigue. So, fatigue caused by a chronic condition is, again, it's different than being tired. And when I am experiencing the fatigue associated with a flare, it's my indication that I need to really, really check in and watch my boundaries. I've been down this road before and I've found that it is way too easy to overdo things. I've been really good at setting limits for my own things and know when to rest when I need to. But it's also important to remember that it is not only important, but it is totally okay to make sure that you have those boundaries in check for requests that come to you from other areas. For me, it can be the simplest things of like letting my mom know that I'm having a rest day and that I'd rather not make the trip downstairs to take a look at something, or putting limits on grocery shopping. I've shared before that when I do shopping twice a week, I do that for myself and for my mother, or I'll take her along, and we'll go together. And when I'm going in a flare, I'll still be able to do shopping usually, but I'll be able to limit it to say maybe I'll go to one grocery store today instead of three or four. And it just needs to be able to have the just the reminder that not only is it okay to say that, but it's going to be really important for me to be able to manage during this flare. And this stuff might seem minor and might even seem selfish, but I can tell you with experience that it makes a difference, because when you are trying to get back on track during a flare, or like I said, at any other time when you are learning to live well with this sort of a condition, you do need to recognize and respect the capacity of what you are able to do. And again, it becomes a bit of a balancing act because of the changing ways that can happen from one day to the next. And so that's kind of just what this video is about. I've mentioned that I'm going to be doing just sort of a video log of my experience. It is, it's one thing to be going through it, but to be able to sort of document and to remember when we get these, when we get a gain or a win, and also just to acknowledge when it is not so easy. Check with your boundaries so that you do not physically overextend yourself. It is really, really important. That's my Thursday tip for today. I'll see you next time, and until then, I am wishing you wellness.